So my parents did this thing, and I think this is true for a lot of children of Asian immigrants. Like they always like said you weren't enough, okay? And once you did make an accomplishment on something, they'll say like, oh yeah, but like my friend Cheryl's son is like doing blah blah blah. So like yeah, your accomplishment's actually not that big of a deal. And as a result, I think a lot of like you know second generation Asian kids like they kind of they grow up with this like inferiority complex that like really pushes them to succeed because like you're just always like faced with like a feeling of inadequacy. And I was just like really like evaluating this trait in retrospect of my life and how far it's propelled me. And I think that honestly I feel like we should encourage a sense of inadequacy in our kids. Like having an inferiority complex is like kind of helpful in life if you really think about it. Like maybe not in like the super long term, but in the short term, at least for like the first like 20 years of your life, it's really helpful because like when you're when you're confident in yourself, it breeds a sense of complacency, okay? And you want to generate a sort of like hunger or thirst for achievement, okay? And you don't do that by creating a sense of complacency. And especially in like the early stages of your life where it's like so pivotal that you kind of like work as hard as you can to get into like the best college you can, having an inferiority complex is like really good at generating that drive, okay? And then later in your life, confidence becomes a lot more important. So it's okay to like tamp down the inferiority complex because in the long term, it's not an inferiority complex that makes you successful. It's like drive and like charisma and like all of that. So you optimize for a different set of variables later on in your life. And if you get all you need from your inferiority complex, like eventually you can just like discard that. You still retain all the hard work, you still retain all the discipline, but in addition to that, if you add confidence in that and having like a mild superiority complex, like you're kind of unstoppable, okay? And I feel like we should encourage people more to have an inferiority complex so they can develop that drive like early on in their life.